Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Kadena. Kadena I covered the last time, I think on the 22nd of January. And at the time here on the 22nd, it had reached here already my target area. Again, that's the target area that I defined for many altcoins. Not all of them, it varies slightly between different altcoins, but for many altcoins in the current correction, I did define this target area between the 88.7 Fibonacci retracement level and the 78.6 Fibonacci retracement level, in this case between $3.40 and $6.24. This area was reached, in my last video, where we exactly came down here into the target area. I think I called the video target reached because it was quite important, important call out here. I told you in the video that there is now a chance that Kadena can turn around and that Kadena has a potential to complete the correction in this target area. As I always say, these target areas are not there for fun. They are really the areas with a high likelihood where the price could turn around. I did define my own buy orders around this area, and channel members will know what my buy orders for Kadena are and were, and how I dollar cost averaged in, which was around this area, which is fantastic because look at where we came from, around $28, came all the way down here even to $4.50 or something. So a really, really attractive price somewhere around this area. I think even now, considering where we come from, still a good price, especially as we're currently breaking here through levels. And what I really like with in this chart or on this chart is, first of all, we have really seen here quite a strong move up. Not all cryptos are currently doing that. It's looking more corrective for some cryptos. This one looks at least interesting. It's still a bit early to say, but to be honest, it reached the target area. So, it has done what it needs to do in the correction. And what it also has done, and for example, Bitcoin hasn't done that, it has moved above the 200-day moving average here in yellow, and that is important, and above the 50-day moving average. Yes, Bitcoin is above the 50, but Bitcoin isn't yet above the 200-day moving average, and that is what I find quite important. So the yellow line is the 200-day moving average, and that is quite a relevant one, because if you are above the 200-day moving average, then it indicates also the longer term trend direction, and if you're above it, certainly positive, for the trend, right? So at the moment, what Kadena is doing, obviously it's now on the 4-hour chart. Here we are currently on the 4-hour chart. It's overbought on the RSI, so you get a bit of a retracement. Important is what the daily does. For example, on the daily, we moved up quite a lot. We're at 66 now, so we are soon getting into the overbought range. But here again, you can see what typically is very relevant on the daily chart. For example, this oversold level, typically historically as well, when you were oversold on the daily that much, it was a good time to buy. And I did mention that in various crypto videos, that down here in the target area, most cryptos have reached it. Actually, not all of them. Bitcoin, for example, hasn't. But even Bitcoin, when it's oversold that much, you expect a counter move to the upside. And that is what currently is happening. For Kadena, the difference, for example, to Bitcoin is that Kadena has reached those lower Fibonacci levels, and many altcoins are just doing this in a correction. And that is important to actually get to these levels and finish a correction off, especially a crypto like Kadena, which was so hyped towards the end of last year. It was really hyped, it made a massive move up. And I think I talked about it first at around $16, did then even nearly a 2x from there, and then moved here into this correction. And now is a nice time to stock up for everybody who's obviously interested in Kadena, because not everybody likes Kadena, obviously. So it's all a question of personal preference, I guess, with these cryptos. Everybody has got their own favorite cryptos, but that is certainly interesting. And now we are approaching not only nearly the overbought area on the daily RSI, no, we are also approaching here a key resistance level at $11, At $11 or $10.95, we've got the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level of that previous move. That was support before. There was a bit of fighting around going on this area here, and I think and it was resistance here, and I think this can become resistance. So watch out for that level. It is certainly an important one that we need to watch out for. Overall, I think also what is significant on this chart is that throughout this whole correction down, Kadena obviously made lower lows, and this really is the first time now here that on the 4th of February or 3rd, Kadena made a higher low, and then even it broke above the 200 and the 50-day moving average. So it's really looking positive. What I would like to see now is another higher low, and then from there I think we have a good chance actually to break higher. But we are now approaching a key resistance level, and I want to see what's going on now, because it's first of all the previous high that you can see here, where we currently roughly are at around $10.20. So it's a bit of way to go. Obviously we try to get there. You see it here on the daily candles. Didn't really get higher, and then yeah, this $11 or yeah, 10.95 Fibonacci retracement level, the 0.618, which is so relevant. After the 0.618 Fib level at 10.95, we've got the 0.5 Fib level that could provide resistance at $14.26. Let's take a look at what is actually what is the EMA ribbon telling us, right? Because the EMA ribbon, the exponential moving average ribbon, is also quite relevant, and we are here still. Well, we are above it now, so the price broke above the EMA ribbon, above the daily EMA ribbon. That is quite significant. But what they do, they tend to cross. So when the price can stay above it for a while, they do cross and also can provide a buy signal, or at least a signal that, yeah, we could expect some further uptrend from here. At the moment, they haven't crossed yet. Yeah, they are starting to cross very shortly. But it's an important sign when the price is moving through these. You know, back here, that was end of November. You can see how the EMA ribbon here end of November provided resistance. Yeah, the price really moved along this EMA ribbon, and then suddenly it started to drop. When it broke through here, it really started to drop a lot when this resistance, when this support broke. Yeah, and then the price tried to get through the EMA ribbon again, failed. Here was a bit of a fake out. Yeah, so doesn't always work. That's also why not only one indicator can provide a good picture. That's why I like to use Elliott waves and to get a better picture as well. It's all working together. You know, you can't just use one indicator. But when learning this stuff, obviously you need to start somewhere. Here throughout then January, it failed to break through the EMA ribbon, and now after this higher low, the break of the EMA ribbon is positive. Yeah, and the break of the 200-day moving average as well, and the 50-day moving average, all of that is coming together here, providing a good picture. But you know, that is the reason why I talked about me, at least. I can't tell you what to do. You know, it is always you know, I can't just tell you what to do. It's financial advice. I couldn't do that. So that is why I talked about what I did here, which is dollar cost averaging into Kadena at these interesting prices. And it's always the case, you know, when prices are going up like that, people are getting hyped and people buy at the top. But actually, and that's what I try to, also from a mindset point of view, try to bring across, that it oftentimes, in my opinion, my experience, is so important to stay engaged and to stay interested in the market in these phases where it's boring. Yeah, and to be honest, it was getting quite boring here. You know, when you cross all these moving averages to the downside, you have sideways movement, people leave the market. Yeah, people get pissed off, people get annoyed. I always see it when people get frustrated about a certain crypto and make a certain crypto responsible for losing money. But first of all, my view is, you know, you only lose money when you sell, but then also it's not the crypto's fault, right? Unless it's a scam. So no, it's important to remain interesting, and when people get pissed off, yeah, and when people get annoyed, to stay interested, because that is the time when there are historic buying opportunities, yeah, that might not come back that fast, yeah. And in the end, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter if you buy at $9, if you buy at $5, if you buy at $4, if the price could in the next wave go all the way up to $45, maybe even $56, which I would see as the next wave up, because this here is a wave 1. You do here your wave 2, which might now be complete. Yeah, you need a bit more than just, you know, in order to confirm this really. That's just the case. You know, you need more to confirm it. Just purely based on Fibonacci's and Elliott waves, you can't confirm yet that the downtrend is through. There's always a risk that remains. But what is so important is that in here there is a high probability that it is over, especially after this higher low, the cross of the moving averages. but there is more that needs to come. You know, I would want to see higher highs now. You know, we haven't really seen that. I need to see a higher high, and I want to see us breaking above 1240 here, that previous high, for example. All of that then adds together and gives more confidence. But yeah, there is no absolute certainty in these markets, and that is so important to know. But I think, yeah, these are the levels I watch out for the next move up, certainly with price targets around $50, possibly higher here, because it was so hyped, and those Fibonacci's in the first wave did go up that much. The next wave should go up in a similar way and even more. You know, it's a third wave which should go way higher than the wave 1. Yeah, and that's my view here. And also what I just see is here on the MACD, we're going to get another buy signal with a cross here of the 0 line. Of course, it's not confirmed yet. Back what we had here in this wave B, as you can see it didn't cross it. Yeah, it just found resistance before, so that will be interesting. Will it actually cross it, or will it just remain here below 0? That's important, and that also depends to a certain degree on Bitcoin. But the important message is that even when Kadena comes down now once more, which is entirely possible, which you actually have to expect as well very, very shortly, that there will be a correction, yeah, that it makes a higher low, okay? And that is so important. And in the next, you know, in the next move down, I mean, we're now at 950, certainly the $9 level here around the 50-day moving average will provide a lot of support. But what we also want to see is here the Fibonacci levels. So next key support levels, if this was the high already, yeah, at around 1050, we can certainly expect key support here at 938. I mean, it already found support there, we can just see that. And if it breaks that, yeah, 850, which is around this 50-day moving average, and below that 784. These would be the key support levels on a very small scale, you know. But overall, I think Kadena is looking good, and everybody who missed out basically on Kadena when it was a bit too expensive probably has a chance now to get in there. Yeah, and so far looking interesting. And also what I need to point out here, also why I see a correction coming, and before it goes up further, yeah, a correction coming first, because well, first of all, on the daily we are a bit overbought on the daily RSI, but also here on the 1 hour you can see a bearish divergence, yeah, where you get higher highs on the price chart but significantly lower highs on the RSI. So that is indicating that a correction could be coming now, especially as we are getting very close to the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. Yeah, good, looking good so far for Kadena. Initial correction expected. If it is a higher low, a good chance that we could have seen the low here. All right, hopefully you liked the update about Kadena. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And if you really like the content, maybe consider to join the channel membership, and you can find the links for that in the video description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.